Alright guys, welcome back. Chris from GX Overland, and today we're discussing the RIGd Ultraswing. Now I've been getting a lot of questions on my videos about this, why I use a tire swing out that's hitch mounted instead of an actual replacement bumper, and we'll get into some of the pros and cons of it today. Alright, now an obvious pro is cost. So if you're getting into a swing out bumper from any of the companies that make it for this truck, pretty much anything other than a Jeep, you're going to be $2,500, $3,000 for the bumper, but then you have the installation. And on something like a GX, all this stuff is made for Prados, and so they're basically putting it on the truck it's not supposed to be. So like my front bumper installation was kind of a pain because you're cutting the bumper plastics. Same with this. Some of the back bumpers, depending on where they go on the side wrap, also interfere with the backup sensors, and so that's something else you have to consider. I know the Kmart back bumper, which was one I seriously considered for the truck, you have to relocate all the sensors up, and it looks like a pretty big pain in the butt. I watched Lifestyle Overland's video on that, and it didn't look fun. Speaking to them at Expo back, God, 3-4 years ago, they got their GX the same time I got mine. They put the bumper on, and they had come down off a ledge, hit that bumper, and it torqued it up a little bit, it bent it, which steered me away from that bumper. If I'm putting bumpers on the truck, I want them to be able to take a hit on a rock and not bend. It kind of kills the point if my armor takes one hit and is bent up. So I went away from that. That's what brought me to this, is that when I bought the truck, there wasn't any solid options aside from the Kmart bumper for the GX. Now, obviously, there's some stuff out now. Truck's been out for a while. The price points come down, and so companies are starting to make some more stuff. Really kind of looking forward to Slee's rear bumper. But now I'm at a point where the truck is so far along in the build, and they just released that new GX and the new Land Cruiser, that I don't know if it's worth dumping $3-4 grand on a bumper to get into a new truck in the next year or two. So weighing that out. But when I got the truck, those weren't options. So I had either that Kmart bumper. There's a couple of smaller companies that I wasn't too keen on the looks. And then these guys came out. So the RIGd, all it does is mount into the hitch. So it's a hitch slide in. It's got a little handle here. When I open it up, you can see how it installs. So it just slides into that hitch, hitch pins in, and it is super sturdy. So here you can see what their load rating is. RIGd is saying that the maximum load is 250 on the swing out. Now that's going to include your tire as well. Max load capacity on the hitch point itself is 10,000 pounds. I believe it's 1,000 tongue weight. It'll handle that. It's just going right into your hitch. So it's got this real big piece that goes in through here, and then you come through the back side of the hitch here and you tighten it down, and there's a big wedge and it pulls it in. That way it's nice and stable. What I do like is it gives you hitch so you can still tow trailers. I have my recovery point here. That's worked out fine for me in the past. Very, very stable. There's no shaking, there's no wiggling, there's no vibrating, which would drive me absolutely nuts. This makes some noise, and that's probably going to go away here soon in favor of something like a factory 55 replacement that uses soft shackles, but for now, that's what's in there. So when you get your tire carrier, what it's going to come with is obviously the tire carrier. Comes with a license plate frame, and that's about it. You've seen I've put a little bit extra stuff on here. The handle it comes with now is just pretty spiffy. It's almost like a BMX handle, and that's what's tightening it down. That's all it comes with, though. It's just this and this. This was actually extra for me because I purchased it right when they launched this Ultraswing. So this has been on here for 4 or 5 years now. They have since upgraded it, so I upgraded the handle, which is a really, really nice upgrade. The rest of it, though, that you're seeing is all stuff that I have added. So you have stuff like the side hack, which is hard to get a picture of it here. It's just this little part down here. It's this. It's what everything's attached to. So the side hack is going to allow you to mount things like your jerry can holder, your rotopack holder, and these are all options that you can purchase from RIGd. You can get the jerry can holder. This is from them. The Rotopacks with the locks you can get from them. They make a license plate light kit, which I didn't bother getting because I don't care. But they have that there for you as well as an option. All right, what you're gonna notice on my setup right now is I'm currently running 3 different jerry cans. So I have my water for my camp cooking. This is my winter setup. So I have my diesel tank in the back here, and that's so I can run my diesel heater from Vevor. I'm gonna do a video on that here soon because the diesel heater game used to be very, very expensive. It was a little cost prohibitive for me. At $1,000, I wasn't really going to get into like Webasto or something like that. But then your Chinese companies like Vevor started coming out. I was a little hesitant to get into something just because it was unknown quality. But I've been running that thing all winter this last winter. It was awesome for like $110. Can't beat it. Super nice. The only caveat is you have to bring diesel with you. Not a big deal. It burns like a half a gallon a night. So this tank's enough to last me for an entire trip. And then depending on where I'm going, I'm either bringing a 20-liter jerry can of gasoline, or on a trip like I'll be doing here, not this next weekend, but the following week, I'm going up to Georgia for a full week to go do either the Traverse or 500. I haven't really decided yet, but I'll swap out my gas can for a Wavion water can. I usually don't have a problem with gas up there. There's plenty of gas stations all over the place. It's the nice part about traveling in the US, East Coast especially. We're never far from a gas station. So the huge gas tank is probably unnecessary. I'll probably carry a 2-gallon Rotopack that I actually stole off my adventure bike. Use that here, keep my water, and then bring a huge jug of water. That way I can wash off, I can make all my food, all that kind of stuff, and not have to worry about finding clean water somewhere on the side of the road. Gas, no problem. Good potable water, can be. All right, and like you saw in my camp kitchen video, this thing comes with a table. Love it. First accessory I bought was the table for the swing out. I really liked having one of my FJ. The FJ, I would open up the hatch and I had a table that folded down in the back, and that was really nice and convenient. The downside of that was the truck had to be open every time I wanted to cook. The tray was big, I had plenty of places to put stuff, but I didn't want to have the back of the truck always open. So I got this on the swing out, and now it's not an issue. So I can do all my cooking here like you saw in the cooking video. It does have this big plastic cutting board, super convenient. It's a little bit taken up here because I have the diesel on, but on my next trip when I'm not carrying a gas can, this pushes up flush. It's not taking any room. It's really nice to have. I will take the cap off of this. I throw on this little guy, which I showed you in my camp kitchen video. Stick it in there, and now I've got water for all my cooking. So I've got a really nice, easy, quick setup, quick breakdown camp kitchen. So when we stop on the side of the trail for lunch, I can pop the back hatch here, dig into my refrigerator, get my food, set it all up right here. Good to go, no muss, no fuss. I'm not walking around. And you'll see that I have my awning out right now. It is Florida in the spring. It's Cinco de Mayo, and it is like 90 degrees at 9 o'clock in the morning. So this is up, so I'm not sweating my butt off out here doing the video. But you'll see how I have it set up. And the reason I went with a driver's side awning was that with the tire swinging out this way, I am completely under the awning. So when I go up to Georgia next week and get rained on, Georgia, Tennessee, and the Carolinas, I'll be up in the Smokies somewhere. As soon as you get into elevation up there at this time of year, you're guaranteed to get rained on. So I can do all of my cooking, a little bug, do all my cooking under shade if it's sunny out, like if I'm at the beach like I was last weekend, or if I'm up in the mountains getting poured on, I'm still under cover. My whole camp situation's under cover. I can go in the back of the truck, get all my food, and do all my prep work under cover. The combination of the awning and this setup has been fantastic for my cooking. Added bonus, on the table, they even thought to include a bottle opener, which I sometimes forget on my trips, and that's a real pain in the butt. Out in the middle of the woods, and you're like, I have no bottle opener. So they got one right here, pretty handy dandy convenient. All right, one last thing I want to talk about that does not come as an option from RIGd, but I think they should tag up with them. So Baja Designs offers this little S1 fog light, and I actually run them on the back of the truck as chase lights / scene lights. We run into a lot of like nasty deep sand here, and in the summer times it gets really hard to see. So I run chase lights up top so the guy doesn't rear end me from behind. But because they have two hitch mounts, you'll see there's the hitch mount here that's actually like a tow hitch, and they have an accessory mount on the bottom, which is also like another tow hitch. I used to use that for mountain bikes. You have to use an extension, but not a big deal, just to kick it out past the tire. So throw your extension on, mountain bikes come up and they sit right behind your tire like it would normally. I have swapped that out because on the GX, the reverse lights are horrible. They're non-existent. And in the woods, that was becoming a real issue. So this little S1 light from Baja Designs really fixed that problem. That thing is super duper bright. You can kind of see it wires down, goes on the swing out right here, kind of follows it around, goes under the truck. Now where that goes is into the 7-pin from the factory. So when I kick this thing into reverse, my backup light comes on. Super bright, super handy. It's about $150 for the light with the wiring kit. And in my opinion, they probably need to tag team up with those guys and just make that a factory option. You can order all kinds of options for this swing out already from RIGd. Why not put that in there too? All right, because I get asked for pricing on all this stuff every video, I have written it down. So the cost on the initial RIGd swing out used to be a little bit cheaper when I got it. Cost of materials has gone up a bit. The swing out itself for the Ultraswing, which is what you need for a GX, is $1,500. The side hack, which is just this part that extends from the tire carrier bar out to the side and gives you your MOLLE panels. Usually I've taken that off and put the jerry can holder on and the Rotopack holder on, but just the side hack itself is $300. And you've got a bunch of options with that. They let you buy all kinds of stuff. You can buy your Rotopack mounts for it. I already had some because I had the bike. There's a bunch of stuff you can buy with that. The jerry can holder that I decided to mount because I wanted to bring extra fuel or water is $150. This little guy right here that allows us to roll Rotopacks, about $70 for a single lock. It goes on, bolts into the side hack, and then you can get a locking handle for it. I have a double, so I had to buy a coupler. Not a big deal. It's like another 40 or 50 bucks. But that allows me to have diesel and water or gas and water or whatever combination you want on there. The Ultra table with the cutting board is $400. In my opinion, very much worth it. Now, I was at Expo East, I believe, this last year, and they had just released a new one. So where this is all black powder coat with the white board, the new table is actually considerably bigger than this, it looked like, and it was all stainless steel. I don't know the cost on that. I'm sure it's higher than black powder coat. It is bigger. It looked cool, it looked really nice. I already have this one, so I'm going to stay with it unless RIGd decides to send me one. This has been great though. Absolutely no problems. The Baja light, like I had mentioned earlier, about $150. So all told, 18, 1950, 2350, 24, yeah, about $2,500 into my swing out setup. So I'm kind of at that price point where I would have been if I had bought a bumper. Now, the other advantage to this is that bumpers, I got to stay on the truck. I sell the truck, the bumper stays with it. This, if I decide to trade out the 460 next week and pick up a 550, which I'd love to do, the Overture looks pretty sweet. I can just take this off. I can throw it on the new truck, which I'd probably have to. The whole reason I got this was because initially I put all my suspension and rims and tires and all that on there and went to tuck the spare tire up underneath, and I didn't go crazy with tire size. I'm on 33s. It doesn't fit under the truck. So what do? So my first trip, I had the tire in the back of the truck. I have my fridge on this side, I've got my tire on this side, and I had no room for any of my gear, which kind of killed the point. So I got this, and then as the company grew, they started adding accessories to their list, so I was able to do tables and all this other stuff. But initially, it was just to get the tire out of the truck. It's been great for that. I could take this now, and if I get a 550, I can just take the whole setup, plug it into the 550. I've got my big reverse light, I've got my gas can, I've got my fuel carrier, I've got my tire carrier. I'm all set up in like 20 minutes. Fantastic. The other advantage to this was I had a buddy doing a cross-country trip in his 4Runner. This is for a 4Runner. So all we did is he took it off my truck for the 2 or 3 weeks he was gone, put it on his truck, and he took it with him. Pretty nice. I wasn't going on any trips at the time. I wasn't going to need a spare tire like full time on the truck around town, because this is kind of just a toy. So he was able to take it with him. Lots of advantages to this over an actual bumper. Now, like I said, if Slee comes out with their bumper and it ends up being super sweet, is it probably going on the truck? Yeah, maybe. I'm still contemplating on if that money's going to be worth it, since I'm probably switching the truck in the next year or two. It's a new toy, so honestly, probably. But for the last 4 or 5 years, however long I've had this, it's been great. I'm going to try to include a video on here too, because people ask it, like, listen, it's hanging out of the back of the truck quite a bit, which it does, just like your bumpers do. It's going to sit about a foot out of the truck here, and it does have a tendency, if you're coming off a ledge, to, I mean, it's definitely going to affect your departure ankle. With that said, this has come off of rock cliffs and come down, and I land right on this thing, and it'll scrape all the way down, and it's just fine. I've dropped it off and hit it on the far side here, which is considerable amount of force and leverage because it's coming off the center here and leveraging up. I've smacked it right on the hinge, nothing. That was a little nerve-wracking when that one happened. I was like, oh no. I can feel it coming off, and I was like, I'm gonna hit. Like, I really hope I don't wreck a $2,000, $2,500 swing out. Nothing. And that's probably happened 20 times. Nothing. Thing still works like the day I got it. There's been no maintenance, no issues. The powder coat is really nice. I hit it with a little bit of tire wet once in a while, bring that powder coat right back to factory shine, and it looks like I just bought it. For what it is, I think this is the best tire option you have for a swing out. And I definitely would buy it again. All right, if you have any questions about anything else on the truck, let me know. More videos coming on my tent, how I have that set up currently. I've got that trip coming up. I'm going to be doing Georgia and Tennessee and Smoky Mountains here in 2 weekends. Going to have a really good time on that. Going to film that, bringing up some new friends to go out camping with. And a video will be coming hopefully a week or 2 after that. That's going to take some editing. So is there anything on this truck that you've seen so far that you like, that you have questions about? Please hit me up in the comments. If you liked the video and you think this is informative, awesome. If you can do like the little thumbs up, like, maybe hit a subscribe, that'd be cool too. I'm trying to grow the channel up. Makes it easier for me to know what kind of content you guys like, what you want to see more of when I'm getting likes and comments. So please do that. Again, this is Chris, Jade Overland. See you on the trail. Be safe.